Hey healers, hey, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys can hear me okay. All of a sudden somebody started revving their engine, but I'm here because it's 33, March 3rd. It's Luni Gras, tomorrow's Mardi Gras. I'm a Life Path 33. That's the master teacher. That's a person whose soul encoding is to teach, and the way that I teach is through conversation. So these live streams, we just have a conversation and we touch on a lot of different topics, and that's where the education is found, as well as my example of living my own life, even though I've been going through a process where I've needed a lot of solitude and I haven't really wanted anybody to know anything about me. So it's hard to it's hard to lead by example when you don't want to be seen. So I'm challenging myself for the next 30 days to film and upload a video to YouTube daily. Originally I was going to do live streams, but actually I just want to film the video talking to you guys and post it, so that way there's not any of the extra pressure that comes with a live stream. It'll post when it posts, you'll see it when you see it, and then you can comment, leave a comment, share, subscribe, say mashallah, tell a friend, stay tuned, and expect daily uploads. If I miss a day, it's whatever, I'm not gonna stress about it. That might happen, but it'll be my goal and my ultimate pleasure and joy to upload a video every day, because I get to come in here and talk about things that I want to talk about, share my viewpoint with you, and it's ultimately in service of the business that I do, which is coaching, healing, energy work, and advocacy, specifically for sex workers and survivors of sexual abuse. That is what I do, and we alchemize pain into pleasure like warriors do. So when I'm talking about SWs, I'm not just talking about sex workers, I'm also talking about spiritual warriors. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Oh my god, that one was so good, I had to sneeze twice on it. So yes, don't look at me. I need Kleenex. So yes, so for those of you guys that have been following me for a while, my name is al-baladi. I'm also known as Sarada Muludara, my alter ego, the root chakra goddess, and I focus my work on energy healing, training energy healers. Energy healing is the oldest medicine. It's the first medicine, the most effective medicine. If you don't have anything else, you have energy, or you have the ability to get a little energy together to do something with. You're not always going to have all the accoutrements, and a natural witch actually doesn't need them in order to do powerful workings. So consider this YouTube channel my free ancestral energy healing school for the collective. If you guys have any requests or you want to know more about anything that I talk about here, just leave a comment. Feel free to share your opinion. Just keep it respectful. I have the right to delete or block whatever I feel. My page, my rules. So get right or get left. So you guys, today we're going to talk about the 40-year curse, which is something that I have experiential knowledge of, as I just came through. I'm in my 40th year. I just came through my 40th birthday last summer in June. And I experienced intense illness, intense SUICED, suicide ideation. I experienced like a lot of spiritual attacks, starting from before I turned 39. And so I was prompted to talk about this when I noticed that the actress Michelle Trachtenberg had recently passed away, and it seems like it was due to complications from a liver transplant that she had recently, and she was in her 39th year. gonna turn 40 later this year. So immediately I thought this is the 40-year curse, because whenever I hear of somebody dying at age 39, I always think this is the 40-year curse. When you turn 40, like, you basically have had the opportunity to collect a certain amount of wisdom that is very hard won and not available to everybody, because everybody doesn't make it to that age. A lot of people are groomed and indoctrinated under like this death cult grooming to not expect to live past 25 or past 18, and so they're limited in planning for a future, and then what happens is that ends up shortening the life expectancy because there's not anything to look forward to. So there's so many things that happen along the way to try to do multiple things to the person before they reach 40. One, they try to incapacitate their ability to procreate. So with girls and women, one of the ways they do this a lot is with bipolar medications and psychiatric medications that have a secret side effect of infertility or bringing on perimenopause and menopause early. For men, one of the symptoms of this curse for men is if someone has tried to either shoot or cut their penis off or attack them in that area in some type of way, as well as men consensually getting vasectomies, and then also being transgender is also an indicator of being afflicted with this curse, because when someone's transgender, they're more likely to alter their body in some way. In this medicalized culture, they're more likely to alter their body in some way that would keep them from having children. And then even within the queer community, within same-sex couples, there's also that can also indicate the presence of these curses. There's a few things, and people will get mad at me for saying this, but being in the adult entertainment industry, being in the LGBTQ community, and being a person of color, these are all factors where you could likely want to look for the 40-year curse in your bloodline. But it's not just these populations. Like, any population could have this curse. You're more so going to be able to tell if you have people in your family or people around you that have passed away before hitting a milestone age like 40 or 30 or 20 or even 10. But the children, that's a little different. Children that pass before the age of 10, specifically before the age of 6 to 8, that's a little different thing than when we're talking about the 40-year curse. So I'm not going to honestly get too deep into it. I'm going to keep this video pretty short so that I can get into a flow of uploading these daily. But I'm more than happy to come back to topics that I touch on and explore them more deeply. Because one of the things that I found significant with my experience that I had preparing for myself and protecting myself from all the sabotage that I was experiencing coming through my 40-year portal is it had been a long game. It had been a long game. There was ways that I had been medicated or that I had been monitored since a very young age, that I had been exposed to certain experiences from a very, very young age to groom me to shorten my life expectancy so that I would not likely be able to live past 40, because I wouldn't be able to physically maintain the trauma, over time, this accumulated trauma and stress in the body. And so one of the ways that I've dealt with that is by somatic healing, somatic releases, the Workout Witch course is what I use specifically, and I recommend to my clients. And I have to get back. That's something else that maybe I'll start today, because I can also incorporate that in my 30-day challenge, because you would be so freaking amazed when you do these exercises. It's hard to do because every single time that I do, I cry for an hour. but I'm willing to give myself that now, because I know that releasing those tears is going to release a lot of accumulated stress. It's going to help me look young, because part of my challenge to myself is also to like reclaim my health. I've really let myself go, honestly, and the fact that I'm 40 years old and I still look like this, I think is pretty good. Thanks, mom and dad and everybody else. I ain't mad at it. So I want to I want to see what is possible if I actually put some effort into it. Because I've been surviving this fucking curse for the past couple of years, I've been very antisocial. I've been terrified of people. When you're in danger, like, it's like something in you knows you're in danger, and then the way that I was living and the way that I was feeling and the things that I was experiencing, it was like anybody. It could be anybody. Anybody could be behind it. Anybody could be like trying to do something weird, and I just didn't feel safe at all. So even when situations that I was controlling, like my work, like I could not come to a baseline of safety, of feeling safe. But it's because I was knee deep in the thick of spiritual warfare that is bloodline based and based in generational curses that I was breaking actively while helping other people break theirs too. And it was not pretty, but it was victorious and well won and well worth it. So, booyah, if you know you want it done right, you come to me. We don't play no games over here. And anybody can say whatever they want to say about me, but one thing you can't say about me is I don't put in that work. And I'm always available for repair of any kind, because I take this seriously. Like, I care about you guys. When you guys have, like, you go on about your lives, I want to hear how things are going. Like, I care what my clients are up to. So you can always feel free to reach out to me. And if there's ever anything that you ever wanted to clear up or get clarification on, you're welcome to do so too. So I'm also called to point out that one of the other things that will happen later in life is that people will develop extreme reactivity. So this is one of the things that you'll hear people say this about, like, when it comes to dating, like, that I noticed this as a young lesbian myself. Why are young women so fun and older women are so psycho? This is something that people say and that they think and that they believe. And for me, what I realize is, like, you get older, it doesn't give you more time to get more wise or to be more, fruitful and experienced. That's not necessarily what's happening. For the majority of people, they are getting more fucked up, and they have more time to get more fucked up. And the patterns are so deeply ingrained that unless they go through a full-scale transformational process that takes years to complete, if you ever do complete it, but I'm talking about you need at least 3 years to transform in this way. Nothing is really going to change that much, like, from what has been established from a young age. That's why a total transformation is needed. A lot of times people need to move away from home, from their families, break up with their partners. Like, it's like I've worked with clients. I've seen them through multiple relationships. I've seen them through living in multiple states. Like, I've seen them through multiple careers. I've seen them through multiple lifetimes in this lifetime. And they have me too. So this is what we do. I'm interested in helping people save lives. Your own life and the lives of people that you love and people around you and the people that who are called into your care. Okay, so when I see something like a liver failure, like, I see that this is a person. The thing that people don't understand is when it comes to spiritual warfare, usually when there's something that's a mysterious death of a high-profile person, like, you always want to consider witchcraft. Why wouldn't you? Because there could be something that they're involved in that has something, like, it's never just, it's just a coincidence. Or I don't think that you should think like that. Like, you think it's your choice how you think. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you, obviously. But if I can urge, encourage, persuade you to think deeper into don't worry about what is being reported. Worry about what sounds like it could potentially be true, and then fill in the gaps with information like this from people like me who have a professional background in it, that the liver is a very spiritual organ. All the organs are extremely spiritual, but it's a reason why when people, specifically high-profile people, died in ancient Egypt, their organs were embalmed. Different organs belong to different spirits. So I'm not going to say any more about it because I really can't get into it on here. But I just want to put that out there for you guys because you really want to do your due diligence. You want to be careful. You want to protect yourself. And you want to know like what you're dealing with when it comes to raising your level of influence, being more visible, creating a long-lasting brand that you have longevity with. Oops. Creating a solid foundation, okay? Like when it comes to whatever it is that you're creating, even if it's just basically like a lifestyle system for yourself. But I'm speaking specifically to starseed entrepreneurs that are creating spiritual-based businesses with ethics at the forefront. Because we're coming from a paradigm where you're doing bad things to make money. Like whoever's making money is doing bad things. They're hurting people for sure. And we don't want to be like them. But then I think like the gag is you're never like them. So there's a lot of built up shame. There's when you hit 40, it's like you can't hold that shit anymore. Probably 35 even. Because if you come through these type of experiences of like ritual sexual abuse, child abuse, there's a whole heap of guilt and shame that has been dumped on you to hold for other people. And the goal is for you to take it with you to your grave. But when you start getting older and you're able to put things in context and put yourself through processes, and you've experienced enough and you've practiced enough to put yourself through magical processes where you can release stuff like that, that's what they don't want to happen, because it would be better for them if you take that baggage to your grave for them. So we can't even begin to understand the depths of evil that this material world was founded on. But when we can recognize it and acknowledge it and be honest and aware of it, then we can navigate accordingly for our best good and the highest good of those who are in our care. A lot of people, like, they want to talk about ethics in spiritually based businesses. Without having a global perspective of like the reality of spiritual work on a daily basis around the world is not the same as the spiritual work on a daily basis that takes place in the Western pantheon, whether it's like whatever, genre of it, whether it's like the love and light or the, woo, like, not gonna get too crazy, we're gonna call it woo and devalue it, but we'll still talk about it because that's what we're doing. Like, it's like all the different flavors of it, the hoodoo, and sensory and Ifa, like whatever you're getting in the Western side, that where people talk about things like ethics and they bring that stuff up. In a lot of other places, those conversations aren't necessarily being had because that's not part of the, like, it's not part of the cultural commentary around these things. It's like there's more leeway. I think that people are given a little more leeway, and they're also expected to be a little crazy, a little kooky, a little weird, and there's a certain level of professionalism and like being cordial with other community members and other professionals within the American and the Western pantheon of these practices, that where anything truly groundbreaking, like generally a lot of really groundbreaking work is not going to come out unless it is groundbreaking work that validates what's already considered to be groundbreaking work, or what's already like in existence in the public eye. But something that's going to come out that's going to make all the other theories and so much other work obsolete, that is grounds for severe punishment. So that is another reason why, in particular, specific sacred bloodlines that have the ability to bring through this knowledge and disseminate it to humanity and be respected and believed and listened to will be persecuted in this way, so that they're not able to like achieve that. They're persecuted with things like housing instability, domestic violence, and financial abuse, different forms of financial and domestic abuse, trafficking, and family estrangement, being disowned by family. So we kind of unravel like the truth behind all the hype and the fluff and everything. It's like everything that we're shown to focus on is a distraction. For example, things like so for example, perimenopause. People embrace perimenopause because there's like cultural associations and belonging associated with it. But if they were getting the adequate nutrients and releasing their stress, then they would not experience it, probably until much later, if at all. But this is part of slave programming. So that the depths of how people have been programmed to be slaves and what it actually takes to break out of slavery is completely covered up and concealed by this story about this American story about slavery that was created to glorify a certain population, to punish other population. Essentially, what's been written and repeated in history is not true, but yet to have any real truth come out, because it would invalidate so many other publications and so many other schools of thought, then it would be suppressed at all costs. And so many people would have a vested interest in suppressing that. So just like when we were watching this war happen, this war on Gaza, they're being unapologetic about their wish to genetically annihilate an entire lineage. That's unapologetic about it, because they're saying it's them or us, even though that's like not true at all, because this is the same story that so many indigenous people have of like living in peace with these people until they decided to take over. But what I find missing from the story is that there's so much nuance to it that doesn't get told. Like the fact that there's people that are on the side that should be on the side of the oppressed, that make deals with the side of the oppressors and sell out their people. And even people within their own families can't get along, and it's not always the colonizer's fault. And I feel like always paying so much attention and focusing on the colonizer does this, the colonizer does that. I genuinely feel like it's a cop-out. I feel like it's a way for people to avoid accountability. I feel like it's a marketing scheme. I feel like it is it's a way of infantilizing people, and it also glorifies the colonizer at the same time. So there's that. So when it comes to information that I'm sharing with you guys, I honestly almost gave up, and I was like, fuck it, because I'm just going to have all these obstacles to what I'm sharing, and I could be putting myself at risk because people don't want this information to get out. So what I'm just going to do is talk it through in these 30 days and keep coming on here with you guys daily, so I can share another piece of the puzzle with you, so that I can find out who's out there, what you guys are thinking critically about, how we can create a more peaceful and pleasurable and just society and world and lives for ourselves, it starts with the self. And some of us are called to have bigger influence than just within ourselves and within our homes. So what does that look like in 2025? I've been predicting this time for years, as so many astrologists and psychics have. Like, we've known this is going to be a major pivot point, a transformative era for the United States. Like, this is it. It's over. The illusion has completely crumbled, and some people are still holding on to some parts of the mask and the costume that will eventually be snapped away from their grasp, because it's not real, and nothing that's not real can stay. Nothing that's not real will last after the shift that we're in. So I thought, okay, I should do my nails and do my makeup, and then I was like, no, you know what? I'm gonna go on here just as I am, because I'm 40 and I want to be seen. I want to be documented for the real me. So this is me. And I'm going to end it here. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Say mashallah. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Stay tuned, healers. Follow me, Ancestral Energy Healing. Follow my Instagram and Facebook. And check out my website. I have my group program, Remembering, coming up. If this conversation is resonating with you, you will be a great candidate likely for Remembering. So feel free to shop my site, ask me anything about it, and stay tuned for more. Peace, healers. Masalama.